Here are 6 online network marketing skills that you need to know to recruit more reps into your business. What's going on, y'all? This is Dereco Cherry coming at you with another home-based business training video for you. If this is your first time checking me out or coming by my YouTube channel, consider subscribing if you're looking to build your home-based business, because I give out free training, tips, strategies, and just sharing, some of my experiences that I've learned along the journey of me actually building a home-based business using the internet. So like I said, if that interests you, consider subscribing. That way you'll get notified of when I release new stuff. But let's go ahead and get into the training of today's video. And like I said, this is talking about 6 skills that you need to know about building your online network marketing business so you can recruit more reps. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of stuff so I can send you on your way. So one of the first skills that I think everyone should know if you're serious about building a network marketing business online and you want to recruit more reps is learn how to market right. Now, marketing is simply where you're trying to advertise your product or service, trying to get people to buy it. Now, where most people mess up is they talk about their company name too much. And right, and this is really specific for network marketers. They talk about the company name too much. They talk about their product too much. They talk about what it is. They talk about how great the comp plan is. They talk about how there's zero competition. All that stuff is, I guess you can say that it's marketing, but it's not very effective marketing. A more effective approach that you should take, and my recommendation of what I've experienced, is actually using education-based marketing. And the difference is that where you actually educate your target audience and then you attract them to you. Now, a lot of times people throw the term around attraction marketing. They're kind of interchangeable. Attraction marketing, education marketing, they're kind of the same thing. And so when you learn how to do education-based marketing, you attract people to you based off the value that you give out. So for example, if you teach someone, you can teach someone how to get 6-pack abs, you show them a couple of exercises, show them some foods to eat, then that will attract them to you based off of that content if they're into health and wellness. And then what you can do from there is, once you have someone reach out to you, then you can introduce them into your product and service, which hopefully will be something health and wellness related on the back end. See how that works? So it's way more effective to learn how to market using education versus just going out here plastering your company name all over the place, because that really doesn't interest anybody. Nobody really cares about any of that stuff. And it's just not very effective, because if it was, then, pretty much everybody would be doing it. Or, making, a boatload of money, in network marketing. So learn how to market. The next skill that I would suggest that you learn how to do is learn how to brand yourself. Branding is what you want to be known for. So if we were to Google your name, if you was to Google your name right now, what would come up? And here's the big thing about branding that you need to think about. Now, you don't have to have a brand to build a network marketing business. I'm not saying that. But if you really want to use online, you want to use the internet to grow your network marketing business, you should really consider working on your brand. Now, here's the big thing about when you build a brand. Let's say you go out here, you join a company, and this is what most people do, most network marketers. They go and they start promoting the company. They start, like I just mentioned, they talk about, the company name, the products, and all that stuff. So essentially what you're doing is you're branding yourself to that company. And the big problem with that is, let's say you decide to go to another company, or let's say that company gets shut down, because that does happen. Or let's say you decide to go to another company. Well, maybe I just said that, but you get my drift. Things may change. You may not like the comp plan. You may not like something that the owners are doing, whatever the case may be. Well, and you decide to change companies. Well, everybody associates your name. If you built your brand around your company name, everybody associates you with that company. So when you go and start trying to promote something else, it's almost like you're starting at ground zero. They're like, well, wait, I thought the other day you was promoting this, but now you're promoting this. And there's a way that you can actually do it, but it's called building a brand. So when you build a brand, you know, people will pretty much go with you anywhere you go, whatever company you go to. And I never, in the beginning, I really didn't understand what a brand was. And I used to see these people, you know, they would talk about, you know, joining a new company, and they hit like a rank in like something crazy. I mean, I've seen people hit, you know, high level ranks in just a couple of hours, you know, just a couple of days, things like that. And the way that they do that is by building a brand. They have people that actually follow them. You know, people who will follow them no matter what company they go into. And you build that brand by, you know, again, by education-based marketing. You build a following like that. And then, like I said, building a brand is something that you don't have to do if you're trying to build a network marketing business online. But I highly suggest you incorporate that into your overall game plan. Now, some tips here about building a brand. The biggest thing that you need to figure out is, who do you want to be known for? You know, I'll take myself, for example, is that, you know, my brand is all about helping network marketers, home-based business owners use the internet to grow their business. So I give out tips, tricks, and training, and then share my experiences that I've actually been through, and hopefully to help you out. So my goal is to attract other home-based business owners, you know, entrepreneurs, people who are in network marketing, affiliate marketers, those type of people. You know, when you Google my name, you know, it doesn't come up with any kind of company. You know, I do all that on the back end. So I share tips like this, you know, with you to build my brand. So if I decide to go and join another company or switch directions, it's totally fine. So, because I'm not branded, you know, to a company or anything. So that's the biggest thing about building a brand. Okay. The next thing about recruiting people online, you have to be creating content. Content is king. I don't care how you do it. So some examples of content: videos like what you're checking out right here, writing blog posts, articles, Facebook lives, Facebook statuses, Twitter updates, Instagram updates. All that stuff can be considered content. So you have to be creating content on a consistent basis to build, you know, to be able to recruit people, right? So you want to attract people to you. So now you may be thinking, you know, well, I don't know what to come up, I don't know what to talk about, and or who, you know, who would listen to me because you don't have any massive results. Well, I'm gonna share with you how you can get past that. The biggest mistake, not the biggest mistake, but one of the things that used to hold me up in the beginning is that I didn't know the whole content thing. Creating content was kind of like a foreign language to me. You know, I thought I had to come up with, you know, some kind of miraculous new strategy to recruit people online, or, you know, something crazy like that, right? I had this really distorted image of what content creation was. And someone told me to teach the day one version of myself. And once they said that, it started to click. So what that means is that if you've been online for any amount of time, if you went through a training webinar, if you read a book, if you read a cool quote, maybe attended an online training class or whatever, you probably know more than a lot of people out here. You know more than the people who wasn't on that webinar. If that makes sense. So you know more than people who didn't read that book. So for example, let's say you did get on a training webinar and you learned something, and you're thinking to yourself, oh man, nobody wants to know that. Well, if there was 1,000 people on that webinar, okay, well, those 1,000 people may have heard that, but how many people are actually online, right? How many people are just coming online who could benefit from that information? That's the kind of mindset that you need to have, is that, you know, what you're learning, you can actually help somebody, because you'd be surprised at the amount of people that are actually coming online each day who can actually benefit from some of that training that, you know, that you went through. So start sharing the knowledge and stuff. And so the other thing that holds people up, that I thought that, you know, you had to have some type of, you know, massive results, you know, to start, you know, creating content, to start teaching people. And that's not the case either, because at the end of the day, when people are checking out your videos and your content and your articles, the only thing they care about is what's in it for them. They don't care that, if you haven't generated, 1 million leads, or if you haven't made $1 million online, they don't care about that. Only thing they care about is what's in it for them. And when you structure your content, if you're solving the problems, if you're showing people some strategies on how to generate leads, they don't care. The only thing they care for is, what can they take away from the content to implement in their business. So, you don't have to get on camera, or you don't have to create content talking about, I haven't ever generated any leads yet, but here's how you do it. You don't have to do that. You can get on there and say, hey, I just attended a training webinar and I learned these 3 tips right here about lead generation online. And that's it. That's how you approach creating content. Content, like I said, can be videos, blog posts, articles, podcasts, audios. You can do all those different types of things right there, but you have to be creating content, to build your business online, to recruit reps. Okay. And that's the whole cornerstone of attraction marketing. Like I was talking about earlier, is creating that content, attracting people to you. The next skill that you want to make sure that you have about when you want to talk about recruiting reps is communication. Now, here's where a lot of network marketers mess up. When they communicate with people, they make the conversation all about themselves. Oh, you got to join, you got to check this business out. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They got a comp plan that does this. They got a car bonus. And if you do this, you'll win a trip and all this stuff. They put the focus too much on themselves, and they totally ignore their prospect. The biggest thing I can tell you about recruiting people that I've learned along the way is that you have to listen more. Talk less, listen more. I know you may have heard the expression before, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that means you should be talking less. And make the conversation about your prospect. Figure out their goals, figure out what kind of problems they have and what kind of solutions that you can provide to solve those problems. And all that comes down to communication, asking questions. If you ever get stuck talking to someone, ask more questions. That's all you have to do. Communication is, like I say, the key, and then also with the prospecting, but also with the follow-up. You want to make sure that you follow up with the leads that you generate or the people that you talk to. Now, one of the strategies that I use is use a CRM, which is a customer relationship manager piece of software. And it's basically like a big database where if I talk to, a person, I can put their name, I can put their contact information, and then I can put little notes about the conversation that we had. So for example, if I talk to someone in January and maybe they are not in the right spot right now to join a network marketing business, or the timing may not be right, but I follow up with them, say 6 months later in June. Well, with a CRM, it'll allow me to go back to that conversation and pull notes from it, remember kids' names and what they was doing at that time. But like I said, the biggest thing is to use good communication and make the conversation about the other person. Take the focus off of you. Figure out what your prospect wants. Okay. I kind of already dipped into the next tip, which is follow-up, which is, what I said about using a CRM, but make sure you have good follow-up when you're talking about recruiting people for your network marketing business, because like I said, it may take a few exposures for them to actually join you, but you want to make sure you stay in front of them. Autoresponder is really good for that in conjunction with the CRM. So as far as the follow-up, I use a service called with the CRM, that's part of the marketing system that I use. And then also Aweber or any kind of online email service is really good for staying in front of your prospects like that. The next and final one is time management. You have to be able to budget your time. You have to make time to build your business. There's a saying, you can't get mad at the results that you don't get from the work that you didn't do. So if you are pressed for time, you just don't have the time to do it, then, or you're telling yourself you don't have time to do it, then what you're saying is that the business is not important to you, right? It's not important enough at that time. And so if you're serious about doing it, you have to be able to carve out time in your day to do the business. Maybe you go to bed a little bit earlier. Maybe you stay up a bit late. Maybe you create videos in your car like I do. You know, you have to find pockets of time that actually works for your schedule. Now, I can sit here and give you my strategy and things that I do to, you know, free up time to build my business. I'm about to hit myself in the face with a string. But you have to figure out what fits your schedule. You know, maybe you have kids. Maybe you can do videos while you're waiting for the kids at soccer practice or football practice. Maybe you can make those prospecting calls while you're on your lunch break. You know, you have to find pockets of time, you know, in your life, you know, to build your business. You know, even if it's nothing but an hour a day to make prospecting calls or to follow up with people, you have to be able to work that stuff. You know, giving an excuse saying I don't have the time, you know, that's just, like I said, that's just telling me that it's not really important to you. So you have to find some good time management skills to actually work your business on a consistent basis. Now, that's not saying that you have to go in there and put 4 and 5 hours each and every day, you know, towards your business, which, you know, that'll be tough to do. You know, if you work full time, maybe you're married, maybe you got, you know, kids also in the mix. But, you know, 30 minutes to an hour a day is plenty of time for you to actually make prospecting calls, do some personal development, and create a piece of content or something. Okay. So this video, I'm going ahead and wrap this thing up. It's about 16 minutes in right now. So I didn't want to bore you too much, but I wanted to give you these tips, and these are just some things that I've actually learned across the way, you know, during my time, you know, building a network marketing business online, doing affiliate marketing. And you know, once I really embraced some of the things that I talked about just now sharing with you, it really changed a lot of things for my business, you know, as far as creating content, time management, and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and recap, and I'm gonna let you go here. The first skill that I talked about was learn how to market. You know, don't be one of these network marketers who just talk about their company, talking about their product. Learn how to properly market, specifically education-based marketing, lead with value. The next one was know how to brand yourself. You don't want to brand a company, but you want to brand yourself. Everything revolves around you and your name. When you Google yourself, what comes up? Content creation. You got to be creating content. That's the cornerstone on building a network marketing business online, is creating content, you know, with videos, blog posts, social media updates, podcasts, all those different type things. Communication. You got to learn how to effectively communicate with your prospects. Stop making the conversation about you and make the conversation about them. Figure out what problems they have and provide solutions for those problems. The next one is follow up. Have a good way of actually following up with your prospects. If you don't want to use any type of online thing, a simple notebook and a pen, write that stuff down. But you got to follow up, stay in front of the people. It's going to take them a few exposures before they decide to actually join you. Some people, you know, they may join on the first go round, but majority of the people may take them a few exposures, and you need to have a good follow-up system. And then time management. You got to find time to actually work your business. If you don't, then like I said, you can't get mad at the results you didn't get for the work you didn't do, because pretty much everything works. The only difference is that you didn't work. So if you're not getting the results that you want, take a look at what you're doing. Take a look at your daily routine. Take a look at your habits, because your habits pretty much dictates the type of results you got. So if you're not really getting the results that you want, change your habits up. All that, you know, rolls into time management. You know, find the time to work your business. So that's it. That's all this that's it for this video. I'm about to cut this thing off. Like I said, if you enjoyed this stuff, make sure you subscribe to me right here on YouTube. Then you can also catch me over on my blog at DerecoCherry.com. If you connect with me over there, you can throw your name and email address in there, and I got a totally free audio that'll show you 13 different ways to actually generate leads online for your network marketing business, home-based business, whatever you're doing. It's totally free audio. Just throw your name and email address in there, and you can get free access to that. And we'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Later.